Dun 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 dun. Okay, one of the first decisions you will have to make in the Hogwarts Legacy game is to choose one of the 4 schoolhouses. I have my favorite, but still hesitating, frankly. Well, so far the Avalanche have been obviously teasing and biting us the most with the Slytherin house. First, we got these tons of hints about the dark arts storyline connected exactly with the companion from the Slytherin. You know, all those unforgivable curses, the Avada Kedavra thing, the restricted section of the library, the alleged family curse. But what they presented in the latest game showcase is just amazing. A Slytherin student sucked into an obviously dark book. Whether it's a part key or a kind of a time turner, hard to tell, but it's really exciting and I really want to know more. But the game designers are absolutely straightforwardly showing us that we will have to deal with a Slytherin house if we want to know more of those dark secrets. So let's move from the hints to the information that we already know for sure about the house. To locate an entrance to the Slytherin common room, you have to pronounce a password. It reveals a secret passageway through the wall. The Chamber of Secrets book describes the Slytherin common room as a long, low, underground room with rough stone walls and ceiling from which round greenish lamps were hanging on chains. Well, here in the Hogwarts Legacy, the height of the room is really impressive, taking into account that it's supposed to be a dungeon, and I don't exactly see everything that was in the book displayed in the game. Let's not forget that over a century had passed until Potter's time, so let's not exclude possible repair works and renovations. Water is the announced house element. It's because part of the common room was under the surface of the lake. The Slytherin Companion, Sebastian Sallow, is to me so far the most controversial figure in the game. I mean, we know that he may want to deal with the dark arts, and also we saw the leaked quest of trying to break into the restricted section of the library. But hey, this is actually the spirit of the game. This is what we actually expect. The mysteries, the puzzles, the legends, the unknown. And Sebastian looks like the one who's gonna give it all to us. Speaking about the head of the house, I think it's gonna be Professor of the Potions, Aesop Sharp. He looks like a very tough man too, because he used to be an Auror. That's why I'm sure that his useful knowledge is not going to be limited only to the potions themselves, but if we even speak about the potions, we already saw that we will brew lots of them in the room of requirement, and all the recipes, or at least the basic recipes, we're gonna be learning from Mr. Sharp. But hey, enough with the Slytherin. Before we proceed to other houses, just a quick view into the background. In the books, the students were sorted into different houses by the sorting hat according to main features of their characters. So the brave and daring students were sent into the Gryffindor, the hardworking and disciplined into the Hufflepuff, the intelligent and creative into the Ravenclaw, and the cunning and ambitious into the Slytherin house. Speaking about the Hogwarts Legacy game, if you want my opinion, I think here the choice is more between the interior, which you like more. So I mean, it's more about the visual picture. But on the other hand, if you're into the lore, you have to have this feeling that you're in the right place where you belong. So guys, write me in the comments how you will make this choice between the houses. And let's go further. The Gryffindor Common Room. I absolutely love this warm velvety scarlet, or rather crimson shade of interior. It's very welcoming and makes you feel at once so cozy and at home. The color is the thing that gives you a whole altogether impression of sitting in front of the fireplace, which connects directly with the house element, fire. The feature that gives you the instant canonical feeling is of course the Pet Lady's portrait at the entrance. She's the first one you encounter before entering the common room itself, after you climb up quite a lot of stairs, because we know that the Gryffindor common room is one of the highest towers of Hogwarts Castle. So basically my whole impression, maybe it's because of the red warm colors. The whole atmosphere here in the Gryffindor common room is very friendly. It looks very relaxed, especially with a Weasley hanging out somewhere among those students. And if you're sorted into the Gryffindor house, your companion will be Nat Sayonai. She started her magical education at Wagadu and came to Hogwarts later, not from the first year, so that would probably allow her to understand better what you are going through as a newcomer. And we also know that she stands all for justice justice, frankly, it's not always a winning situation, because if she is the one who decides what is fair and what is not, based on her very personal beliefs, well then this young lady can very possibly drag you into trouble instead of helping you out with the mission. The positive side is, Netsai used to attend the largest magical school in the world, and that means she might be capable of some super rare magic, some spells that your enemies won't even know how to dodge. Only every time make sure you don't do anything that Netsai may see as unfair, because in this case she may go after you. Okay, what about a possible head of Gryffindor house? Assuming that it will be Professor Hickett is not as obvious as the connection of other professors we already know to their possible houses. In the Harry Potter books, the defense against dark arts professor was different every year due to the Voldemort's curse placed upon this exact teacher's position, but these happened like years after the Hogwarts Legacy event. And taking into account that Professor McGonagall wanted to take up the position but was rejected probably because of the curse, we can more or less count that formerly Gryffindor's house heads used to be defense against dark arts professors. That's why my guess is head of Gryffindor house will be Professor Hickett. She will be the first one to introduce us to the dueling mastery, which tells us that she must be really cool and know like a ton of super useful enchantments and spells that you will learn from her no matter which house you choose. The air element of Ravenclaw house cannot be overlooked in its common room. It looks so bright, so spacious that it almost makes me choose the Ravenclaw house for myself. The statue of Rowena Ravenclaw is the most recognizable feature at the very entrance, so you at once know which house you're in. She wears the famous crown that would transmit wisdom and all the profound knowledge of a person who puts it on. And while the crown is very unique, the globe must be mass market. Or maybe the houses bought them in some kind of a discount in the Diagon Alley Christmas shop. In a kind of a thing, buy 3, get the 4th for free. I expect Professor Ronan to be head of the Ravenclaw house. He looks like a very fun person, plus we know that he likes playing different games. That's why I bet this specific teacher will get us through a bunch of fun quests to achieve levels in useful charms and spells. So far we haven't seen much about the possible Ravenclaw Companion. We think it's supposed to be Emma Thacker, who is well-read, well-educated, who loves astronomy, and who looks a little bit tense in this picture. My guess is, no matter what house you choose at Hogwarts, you will have a chance to meet every one of those students and then decide if you want to get involved with the specific ones or not. It means that if it's not your house's companion, then his or her storyline will be a side quest to your character, along with your main companion. I really hope it's gonna be this way, because I don't want to lose the characters and students from other houses. I very much want to see this interaction full scale, not only between the main character and others, but also between the companions, so that it all together makes a very unique storyline for every one of us. Many of you already saw the possible secret passageway discovered by fans in the Hufflepuff common room. This room is basically more or less the most mysterious of all. It's never been described in detail in the books. What we see here reminds me a little of a hobbit's burrow, for it's so greenish, brownish and nice. The colors are very easy to explain. The element of Hufflepuff is earth, and whatever has connection with ground, souls and vegetation is very authentic here. This is why we can be sure that the Hufflepuff's head is Mirabelle Garlick as the Herbology Professor. To me, a very intriguing figure is the Hufflepuff's companion, super neatly looking Poppy Sweeting, and to me she even looks a little too sweet from the first sight, and that makes me a bit suspicious. You know, like in horror movies, the super harmless looking little girl is in reality a creepy, evil possessed maniac. Well, of course I'm joking, but remember Rubius Hagrid. Imagine if Poppy is anything like him, she will just lose it and go nuts if her dear sweet magical creatures are in danger. Don't get me wrong, I have nothing against the magical creatures, but we know that Poppy has some communication issues. Again, this doesn't automatically make her dangerous or reluctant to help our character on his way. Only you have to always keep in mind her basic need to connect and support the beasts and creatures in the first place. I tried to gather out the most essential things about each house. I appreciate your comments and any thoughts about those things that I've discussed in the video. Thank you for your attention. Nox.